Hello and welcome to the third lesson in our mathematics series, and we are still talking about indices. And in the last lesson we talked about the laws of indices pertaining to multiplication and division. So in this lesson what we are going to do is we are going to see another law of indices that deals with powers and brackets. So what this one is saying is that if we have a bracket, this bracket and bracket, if we have a power and a base and a power enclosed by a bracket, and that thing is another raised to power something. So this, what this one is basically saying is that a raised to power b raised to power c, a raised to power b, then raised to power c again. So all of this a raised to power b is raised to power c. So just like saying 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 5. So you start with you finish off with 2 raised to power 3, then whatever you get as the answer, which is 8, then raised to power 5 again. So that's what this is saying. So what this one is saying is that we can just multiply the bases, the powers rather. We can just multiply the powers because bracket means multiplication. So a raised to power b raised to power c is the same thing as a raised to power b times c. So if we have 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 5, we can just say 2 raised to power 3 times 5. So it's going to be 2 raised to power 15. 2 raised to power 15. This is very simple. So I don't think this one has much problems, only that that's it. Signs matter. Signs matter. So if I have minus 2 raised to power 2, what I'm going to do is, this is the same thing as minus 2 times minus 2. Minus 2 in two places. If I have minus 2 raised to power 3, is the same thing as minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. So signs will always feature in, will always come. So we'll definitely have to work with them. So 2 times minus is plus, then 2 times 2 is 4. So our answer is positive 4. Then this one minus is plus, times minus again is minus. So our answer is minus 2 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8. So you need to make sure that you are dealing with the signs very well, so that you don't confuse your answers. And also when we have a raised to power b and then raised to power times minus c, so this one the powers will multiply, so it will be a raised to power b times minus c. So it's going to be a raised to power minus bc, right? So these powers and these signs, negative sign and positive sign, are very much, they play a vital role in dealing with indices. Almost everywhere, not almost everywhere in mathematics, signs are very important. The negative sign can affect everything, and the positive sign can also change everything. Unless if we are talking about absolute numbers, which we are in absolute numbers, or absolute value of a number is the positive value of that number. So whatever we have, if the answer is given in negative, and we take the absolute value of that number, then we are going to write it down as a positive number. So the absolute value of minus 4 is 4. The absolute value of minus 5 is 5. So this is where mostly we just ignore the sign. But then for everywhere else, the signs are very important. So what if we have something like a raised to power x raised to power y? What we said is we are going to say a raised to power x times y, and this is the same thing as a raised to power x times y is xy. So this is very simple. And if we have 2 raised to power 5 raised to power 5 again, is the same thing as 2 raised to power 5 times 5, and it's the same thing as 2 raised to power 25. Also very simple. And then when we have a bracket, 2 raised to power 4 over 3 raised to power 5, all in bracket, all these ones in bracket, then raised to power 6 again. What we are going to do is, watch out for this one very carefully, is the same thing as just separating the brackets and just put 2 raised to power 4 raised to power 6 over 3 raised to power 5 raised to power 6. Because this bracket is enclosing all of them, it means that each one at the bottom and at the top, and at the top and at the bottom, they'll have both raised to power 6. This raised to power 6 goes for this one, and it also goes for this one. So it's 2 raised to power 4 over 2 raised to power 4 times raised to power 6, and then 3 raised to power 5 raised to power 6. So this one is the same thing as 2 raised to power 4 times 6 over 3 raised to power 5 times 6, and this is 2 raised to power 24 over 3 raised to power 30. Very simple. We cannot do anything about this one. We can only use our calculators to compute and then find the final answer. But then, since the bases are not the same, we cannot say 2 raised to power 24 minus 30. We cannot do this because the bases are not the same. This is 2 and this is 3. So we leave off our answer like this. So let's take another example. We have minus 2 into minus a squared y raised to power 4 and then 5. So what can we do about this one? When we have something like this one and we have all this one inside the bracket, then we are still going to multiply the powers with each of the power outside. So minus 2 is the same thing as minus a squared raised to power 5, 2 times 5, and then y raised to power 4 times 5. So that's it. So here we have minus 2 into minus a, 2 times 5 is 10, and then y 4 times 5 is 20. So that's it. And then since we have a multiplication sign between this one is just like saying minus 2 times minus a raised to power 10 y raised to power 20. So it means that this minus and this minus will multiply also. So 2 minus minus times minus, this minus sign times this minus sign is a plus sign. And then we have 2 a raised to power 10 y raised to power 20. So that's it. Very, very simple. So you need to take note of the signs when we are dealing with powers. So that's it for this lesson.